Lauren, topic number 2. This is a question. There's been some things going on in the Rick and Morty universe. Apparently, the creator of Rick and Morty, Justin Roiland, has been caught doing some creepy stuff. And so it led me, after all the stuff that happened with Vince McMahon, where like it's questionable, but I don't know with Vince McMahon, like I don't know, like while it's questionable stuff, I don't know like if it's necessarily like the most damning stuff in the world.
He cheated on his wife.
He cheated on his wife.
He covered it up.
He spent company money. Like those are all like shady business practices and like shady life practices. But I don't think they make him necessarily like, unless I think there's some sexual assault allegations, which then push him to the creepy side. But if it's the stuff I said first and not last, I don't think it's as bad. But the question I had is, do you think it's appropriate to continue to enjoy like artwork or television shows or music of an artist or creator if they've been revealed to have done something that's like socially unacceptable?
So I think the easy answer is to say, yeah, sure, you shouldn't like them. But the truth is, I still listen to R. Kelly music. I still watch WWE.
So you're saying,
I'll still watch Rick and Morty because I just don't think about it. Like, I know whatever they did is wrong, right? I know that. And they know that. And everybody else knows that. But like, I think Picasso was kind of an asshole and people still fucking enjoy his artwork. You know, everybody does something shitty.
I don't know enough about Picasso. So I get where you're coming from. So your stance is that it is okay to continue, but do you feel hypocritical about it? I mean, because let's look at let's look at like the most famous probably references would be like Vince McMahon is recent. R. Kelly, you mentioned. Michael Jackson is one that comes to mind.
Yeah.
Who we said the Justin Roiland. So there's quite a few instances of people doing shady.
I mean, there's that director
shit.
who did all those movies that people still watch.
Exactly.
Whatever his name was, the Nickelodeon guy.
There's the producer from Nickelodeon.
But they still air his TV shows, you know?
Here is ultimately my belief. And I guess it does differ a little bit from me depending on what the medium is, because with music tends to kind of be a reflection of people are playing less of a character when they're writing music, whereas somebody who's creating a television show is creating something outside of who they are. It's more of it's more of a fictional experience. And to me, I like to believe that art has to be separated from the artist and their personal actions as far as like it shouldn't diminish the work and your enjoyment of the work. When it comes to like Vince McMahon, there's too many other people involved.
That's what I actually had that written down, is that like they're not the only ones who made whatever it is. So why does everybody else have to suffer?
And I think that's why music, to me, like with Michael Jackson and R. Kelly, feels like it hits a little bit differently because it feels like they have a little more ownership over their product, even though they don't. There's producers and there's engineers and there's A&Rs and there's a whole team that goes into it. But for some reason, I tend to, with like television, want to not be as aggressive in like taking don't watch Rick and Morty, because you have the people who draw the show, you have people who voice the show outside of the man who did the shit. Yeah. And to me, you can't devalue what they do, and I do believe he should be removed.
Oh, definitely.
from the show, and the show can move on, and you can figure out how you're going to do it moving forward. But I don't think that I don't think I have to hate. I hear people who go, well, I'm just not going to watch Rick and Morty, and I don't believe that like if you continue to watch Rick and Morty, that shouldn't be viewed as an endorsement.
I'm not supporting what the fuck the motherfucker did or anything that bad shit that they did at all. But like we had talked about it like previously, where remember we rated douchebag wrestlers at one time, douchebaggery things, right? So I mean, if you literally talked about every douchey thing that one of the wrestlers did, would we have any wrestlers left? I mean, I really agree, right? Is like, to me, there is a separation between like I can't lump everybody, but you're right. When you look at like a roster of wrestling, you can literally go down the WWE roster and say, this guy's done this. Triple H has done this. This person's done this. And like,
from a podcasting standpoint, I get that being like hyper reactive. That's what a lot of people don't understand when you podcast and you make stuff like we do, is you have to hyper react to things, right? So when we do a segment about calling someone a douchebag, ultimately, I think Triple H overall seems to be like a good person, right?
Yeah.
He's done some fucked up things in his past. To create things that are entertaining for people to listen to, you have to hyper sensationalize those things and go, these are the douchebag awards, right?
Yeah.
And it was something that then gets feedback and it's back and forth. And even like when we're podcasting, we're turned up to level 11, right? It's not necessarily everything you believe. You take what you believe and you turn it up and you try to make it entertaining. And where I'm going with that is just like, I mean, I kind of lost my train of thought, but because I got off on the tangent of saying like we turn ourselves up to 11, but it's just like these are characters, and so
you have to separate the character and the product from the person.
And it's hard. I get it because it's on a case by case basis. Because
I agree, because there's certain people and certain things that they've done. Like I just personally can't watch it. Like
when Hulk Hogan shows up, sometimes I feel like racist. Right. Yeah. But then like you say like Matt Riddle has done some things that seem questionable, allegedly. Yeah. I don't know for sure. And I don't turn on the TV and when Matt Riddle comes out, I don't go like wife cheater or like, what would you call it? What would
an adulterer.
Adulterer. Yeah, like that's not the first thing that jumps into my head, right? When I see Ric Flair, I tend to think of like the shit from like the helicopter. That's one way to say it. Versus like when I see someone else like Seth Rollins, who I think is cheated on people that were in the wrestling business. And so,
or like, didn't John Cena cheat on his wife or girlfriend or something?
I believe so. Like all of this stuff. The other problem is what is real and what isn't. I don't know. Cause I'm not a student of like the douchebaggery. I find a lot of that stuff to be funny, and I do have kind of a darker sense of humor. So I find some of that stuff to be funny just because that's how I process that information. And that's why I'm able to do like the douchebag awards and not really feel like everybody has something fucked up in their past, and you can put a spotlight on it and it makes it it makes it can be kind of funny, even though it's probably not funny to the people who are involved in it. But that's what fucking entertainment. That's what's lost in like the world of comedy today, is that like we're not allowed to say shit that's funny, that's stereotypical, that has no malintent.
Yeah.
When there's no malintent, I don't understand the problem, right? There are things that are funny that are wrong to say.
Yeah.
And people who get canceled for that shit, I think that's a problem. But when I look at like the shit that Justin Rowland did, I think he like kidnapped somebody.
Yeah, that's
he like kept a girl captive, and then like allegedly he's like used his fame to like creep on younger girls.
Yeah, that's like 100% not okay.
Like you gotta go, like, dude.
That's disgusting.
You gotta go. And like, but to me, it doesn't affect my ability to watch Rick and Morty, because like if Rick and Morty was portraying these weird themes that like his life, if it was mirroring his life, then I'd go, okay, hold on. This is fucking weird. I can't follow this. But I can separate the art from Justin Rowland. Even with Michael Jackson, I can separate the music from what he was alleged to have done. Yeah. R. Kelly is a little harder because when you're peeing on people,
it's really gross, but I still really like Remix Ignition.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain songs that like transcend, but like
I don't sit there and listen to it every day.
I had a friend in college who
peed
like
on people.
No. He could take like the song like by Michael Jackson, and he would go like, listen to this song, but think of the things he's done wrong.
Yeah.
And then like you're like, oh fuck, this song doesn't seem fun anymore. No. This song could have some very different vibe.
But if you really sat and listened to like a lot of older songs too, they're very creepy. It's
you brought this up to me the other day.
The Get Out of My Mind, My Love for You is way out of line. Like all that shit.
You brought that up.
You're talking about a fucking underage girl, you creepy fuck.
I'm not a historical music person. I am very like stuck in the early 2000s and late 90s for music.
Me too.
That's kind of my comfortable zone that I stay in. I don't go pre 1990.
There's tons of like musicians and stuff who have like adopted young girls and then taken them on their tour, but it's at that point it's the parents' fault because they allowed them to go.
Hollywood is a fucking.
So I mean that's all type of
Hollywood
gross
is a
little
weird
thing I don't want to go down.
Weird place. But to wrap it all up, I think I mean, let us know in the comments if we're wrong, but I do believe that it's my point of view that you can't. I don't blame anybody who goes, I won't watch Rick and Morty again.
You're allowed to have that opinion.
But I think from me, I am able to separate the art from the artist.